In today's video I will be showing you the ultimate way to make money this bull market. This is no exaggeration. I challenge you to watch till the end and determine for yourself if I'm lying. And it's honestly not that difficult. It may be a bit tedious, but as long as you don't mid-curve it you should be fine. I'd say its difficulty is around the same as buying the bear market bottoms, which might be quite hard for some, but it's really not as long as you once again aren't this guy. What I mean by this is once Bitcoin went under 20,000 this last bear, you should realistically know that's a good time to aggressively start buying. Yes, lower levels could have been hit, which they were. We got as low as 15,500, but nitpicking levels like 14, 12, 10,000 obviously cost you generational buy opportunities. So for this particular strategy, it's what I will be doing once my main positions from the bear market have been exited. What I mean by this is, let's say I bought Solana and other crypto near the bottom. Whenever I cash in on them and make a 10, 15, 20x whatever it is, from that point forward is when I will start applying this strategy, because I feel it's one of the most valuable ways to amplify your gains. But it doesn't have to be in that scenario. You can start doing it whenever you want. In fact, the earlier the better, so if you want you can start doing this today. Let's now get into this strategy. So it has to do with the idea of narratives quote-unquote rotating. This is undoubtedly something you've heard quite often, that narratives rotate, which I guess is somewhat of a fair way to put it. But my main problem with this iteration is that it insinuates one can tell what the upcoming narrative will be. You'll always hear influencers on YouTube and Twitter talking about rotate to the next narrative before others get there, give you all this advice, but never actually tell you what that next narrative will be. Because guess what? No one knows what the next narrative will be. But it's from accepting this idea that then lets you ask, well, what do I do instead? To which the answer is pretty simple. Ladies and gentlemen, instead of thinking of this narrative rotation thing as a cycle, I want you to think of it as a pendulum, where that cradle or ball in the middle represents liquidity. So the way I see it is the ball starts off here on the right side, and on the left side we got every crypto narrative. So we got gaming, artificial intelligence, layer 1s, stable coins, DeFi, meme coins obviously, DPIN, L2s, the list goes on. The way I see it then is the ball will swing from right to left and stick onto one of these narratives. So let's say it swings and sticks to artificial intelligence, and proceeds to pump billions of dollars into that sector. The way I imagine it then is, while the ball is stuck to that narrative, every other narrative shifts to the other side. From this moment on is where I think most people get it horribly wrong, and where my alpha comes in. What the typical person will do is be focused on this side of the pendulum, where the money is and what the hottest projects of the narrative are doing. A lot of the time they'll feel despair because their coins may not be pumping. And so they panic and FOMO and say, what are some other micro caps in the AI niche in this case that I can buy into? Or even worse, decide to buy the mid and big caps of that niche because of how much they're going up. What you'll notice almost every single time though is how bad of a strategy this is, especially as we move further into the bull. As of right now you may be able to get away with it due to how things are still generally just getting started. For instance, the latest narrative the ball stuck onto was meme coins. And a lot of people got away with buying micro cap meme coins and made big returns. But as more liquidity enters the system and these projects, the more risky it'll be getting into them down the line. But if all that is the case, you may be asking, Payne, how should this be approached instead? To which I'd first say, make sure you're subscribed, because after this video how else do you expect to get access to more of this content? But I'd answer that by saying this. If the ball is stuck on artificial intelligence, don't look in this area, don't pay attention to it at all. It's already having its next leg up, you've already missed it. You have to be honest with yourself and your abilities. If you think you can play narratives while they're already moving aggressively, by all means go ahead. But like I posted on my Twitter, make sure to go follow me there, I'll leave the link in description. The quicker you realize how much of a nobody you are in these markets, the more money you'll make. I made the same mistake in my first cycle, trying to get involved while things were already going up and pumping, diving into micro-cap Ponzi's. It wasn't working, my losses were accumulating faster than my wins. So I figured out that eventually this money being pumped and will slowly start to dry up. And once that happens, the ball will let go and swing to the other side and stick to the next narrative. So all I have to do is front run this by picking the narratives before the ball sticks to it. For instance, the very first video I made on this YouTube channel after I got banned on TikTok was about exactly this: how I'll make 142k with Pepe. At that time Pepe was going crazy and just cooling off from its hype. And what I said was, throughout these next couple months, while everyone forgets about Pepe and thinks it's dead, I will be aggressively picking it up. That's exactly what I did. I was buying during these lows and come to today where it's blown up 700%. Now let me ask you, is this the part where I go on Twitter saying I just made a ton of money on Pepe, or make a YouTube video saying, hey, I made this, here's the next bunch of meme coins to buy. I'm not a genius, I didn't foresee this. Perhaps the best tip I can give you this bull is liquidity will trickle into everything. Don't get overwhelmed by all these narratives up here. I'd say pick 3 or 4 and jot down the main projects you're interested in with each. So let's say we pick AI, gaming, and meme coins. Okay, cool, meme coins have already had their run, so I'm now going to put my money into the other 2 waiting for the ball to stick. I'll give you an idea right now. So let's look at on-chain gaming, in my opinion being faded relatively hard right now, but that's exactly what I want to see. I am injecting tons of liquidity into Mavia, Pixel, Bigtime, and Shrapnel right now, and some other games. And let's say this ball swings and it misses, goes to something like trading bots instead, that ends up being the next craze. I'm actually perfectly okay with that, because the longer my narrative goes untouched, the longer the accumulation and the stronger the distribution once it does happen. And please bear in mind to pick a narrative you can comfortably assume it will happen with. I know I said every narrative gets touched, but some will get it more frequently and harder. Gaming is one of those. It then swings again and gaming gets hit. Mavia and everything I just named goes up 3, 4, 5x. At that moment, while everyone starts to love gaming again and driving capital into the dumpster, I get out with that 2, 3, 4x. And I've already put my money into the next narrative that no one's thinking of at that time. Let's say it's the data plays. I go into Filecoin, IOS, Arweave, and Stratus. And you just keep repeating this process over and over again until the bull market ends. Look at this Kaspa chart. Can you not see everything I said in this video be put on display within this chart? Look at injective, it's literally in that phase right now. Kind of dull, not breaking out. All of a sudden the thoughts start getting to you. Do we even need an injective blah blah blah, until boom, it rips 100% in your face. I wanted to make this video now because I feel every narrative has been touched so far, with the big N being meme coins. And at the time of this recording it sort of seems it's back to AI like it was 2 months ago. We'll go around this rotation many more times this bull market, probably at the very least 5 more times. That's a lot of gains to be made there. So if you're someone who bought the bear market lows and looking to do something once you've 10x'd your portfolio, there you go. Maybe you turn 10k into 100, then you use 10 to play this narrative game. Or if you're someone getting in right now looking to invest, maybe investing for long-term holds is a bit too late and risky, and you start doing this strategy instead. For me it'll be the former. I still have a ways to go before I take profits. But once I do, I'm probably taking about 10% and playing this pendulum, because although I do admit there is a bit of an experience and learning curve, once you get it, it's a literal money printer. Sign up to a crypto exchange link below for cheap fees and big bonuses. Smash that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you future millionaires soon.